Are you ready for some new Christmas movies? Well, they're here. And last weekend alone, we saw the premiere of 4 new ones between Hallmark Channel and Great American Family. The first one is Twas the Date Before Christmas. And I have to be honest, with a title like that, I was not expecting too much. It's literally about a woman looking for a blind date to spend Christmas Eve with her family. And her family goes all out for Christmas Eve. What could possibly go wrong with that, right? Oh, and did I mention this movie was inspired by a true story? Well, I don't know about you, but once I saw that, I was dying to know more. So let's dive right in and get to it. Hi, I'm Stephanie, and this is the Magical Movie Club, a place to come and chat about Hallmark Christmas movies. As I just mentioned, this past week we watched Twas the Date Before Christmas, which premiered last Friday. It stars Robert Buckley, who I enjoyed earlier this year in Blind Date Book Club, as well as Amy Groening, who, spoiler alert, she was absolutely wonderful in this. And as I mentioned in the intro, I was hooked as soon as I saw this statement pop up right here at the very beginning. The movie opens at a very nice restaurant. We see some champagne being carried over to a couple, and yes, inside one of the glasses is an engagement ring. And then the camera pans over to Jessie, played by Amy Groening. She's on a date of her own at the same restaurant.
Isn't that romantic?
I guess.
Okay, I didn't say it was a good date. As a matter of fact, dating has not been going well for her lately.
And on paper, they all fit my criteria, but then in real life, not so much.
Next, we're introduced to Brian, played by Robert Buckley.
This is business casual, Don. Some might even say business chic.
He's in a business meeting with a company called Madison Developing, and he's listening to a spiel about a new affordable housing project they want to start on after the new year. But there's a lone tenant holding out in the current building, and they want her out of the way before they can proceed.
All the other leaseholders have already vacated. If we don't break ground by mid-January, we'll have to push construction.
Well, after the meeting, Brian was having a conversation with what turns out to be an interim CEO, the one who was just talking about evicting the tenant. And we find out this is Brian's family's company. And when his dad passed, he only appointed this interim CEO because Brian said he wasn't ready for the position yet.
This company needs its leader.
I don't know how to be that.
You know, as I was listening to this, I thought it sounded an awful lot like some other Hallmark Christmas movies we've seen involving royalty. I mean, think about it. How many young princes have we seen over the years who were destined to inherit a crown before they were ready?
Look, I know this is daunting, but this job is yours when you're ready for it.
Kind of similar. In stark contrast, in the next scene, Jessie is leading a virtual Christmas party over a Zoom call.
To the best fiber optics marketing team in the world, cheers.
How sad is that? Well, when that's over, her mom stops by to see her, and while she's there, Jessie pulls out an unopened Christmas card. Her mom looks concerned, but we don't know why or who it's from yet. Actually, the main reason she came over was to tell her that this year the family is planning to cut back a bit, and they're just going to have a nice dinner on Christmas Eve.
Oh, Lily's getting on.
Oh, I am happy to take over the organizing if she feels overwhelmed.
You know, none of all the other activities that they usually do.
We just want to help you see that change is a good thing.
Well, Jessie gets really upset at that idea, and she tells her mom that she's bringing someone.
Well, we don't want to embarrass you in front of your new beau.
Right.
So, with that news, her mom changes her mind, and the big family celebration is back on.
Mom, are you crying? No, that's really not necessary to cry. Oh.
We, the viewer, just don't know what that really means yet. Okay, so now what does Jessie do? Well, first she tells her best friend and sister-in-law, Shelley, over at her seriously cute candle shop, if I do say so myself, about what she had just told her mom.
It is, TPD.
You're joking.
Now, cleverly enough, she also mentioned that she changed her online dating profile to specifically say that she's only looking for someone willing to come to their family Christmas as a first date.
Any guy that agrees to a blind date Christmas is the kind of guy that I want to be around.
Pretty brave, don't you think? Also, remember this is inspired by a true story? Seriously, I'm dying to know how much of this actually happened. Well, obviously we know who's going to respond to that dating profile. I mean, how could Brian possibly resist that one?
Looking for someone to join me at my big family's wacky Christmas events.
He doesn't do anything particularly special for Christmas Eve, so curiosity gets the best of him.
Or this could be the best blind date ever. Won't know until we try it out.
So now we know the premise of the movie.
I believe you are my Uber driver to a fun family Christmas?
Yes.
Well, most of it anyway. Did I tell you the name of the business that his company's trying to evict from that building? Yeah, that'll come up again.
And I thought at the very least I would have a bizarre yet fun Christmas story to take back to the office.
Her family really is great, and they just love Brian. But of course they don't know that she only just met him that morning.
But I did fail to mention that you were my blind date.
Well, Shelley does, but she's good at keeping it a secret.
Shelly, promise me. Promise me.
Okay, I promise.
Oh, and as a fail-safe, Jesse and Brian come up with an escape clause.
Rhubarb pie it is.
Shake on it.
It also turns out that they also do a lot of crazy, fun, ridiculously well-organized activities together. If you're at all familiar with Hallmark-style Christmas movies, these are usually something we see an entire town participating in at, say, a big Christmas festival of sorts. But here, it's just the one family who does it all, and all of it is on Christmas Eve.
Get with the program, boys.
She scares me.
And they take it very seriously with 7 events spread throughout the day.
As you can see,
For quite a while, Brian and Jesse pull it off really well, and they have a great time together.
Like, I know what you're thinking. It's kind of wacky.
No, I'm thinking it's kind of fun.
We even find out about the origin of that mysterious Christmas card that Jesse was looking at the beginning of the movie.
I actually didn't read until like years later. It's funny like that, isn't it?
It is a touching story, so I'll leave that for you to find out. So, like I said, they were bonding and having a wonderful day together with all the crazy family fun.
now, go, you two. Go.
Where are we going?
This way.
Until, yeah, something always gets in the way of a good thing, right?
Jesse just wanted us all to have a fun family Christmas.
You knew about Brian too?
What happens here is Brian finds out that Shelley's candle shop is that tenant his company's trying to evict.
And I imagine it has got to be pretty difficult these days having a retail shop. You ever consider pivoting to online only?
But does Brian tell Jesse about it? No, of course not. You may have noticed this movie is full of secrets. In his defense, if he has one at all, he wants to find a way to work something out so that she won't have to be evicted and she'll never even have to find out.
Thought that I could get ahead of it, save the day, and you'd never have to know.
But like all secrets, they do find out eventually.
Well, I have a secret too. Debbie and I are dating.
And just like all good Hallmark Christmas movies, just when it looks like all is lost, they ultimately do find a way to work things out together.
I do think I have found a way to save your store.
And this one is no different. I'm not going to tell you how, but the real question is, did any of it feel forced or rushed? Because sometimes that does happen.
I like it. I can make this work.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say no, I personally thought the ending felt pretty genuine. In fact, to me, this was a surprisingly good movie. With a name like 'Twas the Date Before Christmas, I honestly did not have high expectations for it. I thought it was going to be a campy or maybe immature movie, and it wasn't. I enjoyed it enough that I'm giving it a 4 out of 5. Not a bad way to start off the season, especially considering maybe I had to dig a little bit deeper to just put my finger on the character development. But believe me, it's there. In the beginning, these two were just strangers who met under very unusual circumstances.
Because it kind of seems like a lie.
Well, it is a little, it's a tiny wee one, but with very, very good intentions behind it.
But the chemistry was there on day one. And over the course of that day, Brian learned how to take ownership of his company, and he used his talents and skills to find a solution to make things better for everyone involved.
Brian.
Done. Company has my name on it. Remember?
That might not have happened if he hadn't responded to Jesse's random dating profile. And Jesse was still coping with a recent loss, and Brian was just the right person she needed at the right time in her life to believe in her future again.
Mom, it is ridiculous to have feelings this quickly.
Just think, all that from a blind date.
This whole blind date Christmas was supposed to be a joke.
So, what did you think? I'm still impressed by the fact that this was inspired by a true story. That's one to tell the grandkids someday, isn't it? Well, on that note, I think that wraps up my review of 'Twas the Date Before Christmas. Next weekend, Hallmark will be airing Operation Nutcracker on Friday night with Christopher Russell, which if you have Hallmark Plus, you may have already seen. The Christmas Charade is on Saturday with Corey Sevier, and then they wrap up the weekend with the 5-Year Christmas Party with Katie Finley. Oh, but wait, there's more. Over on Great American Family on Saturday night is A Christmas Castle Proposal with Rhiannon Fish. It's actually a sequel to last year's A Royal in Paradise. As you can see, we have lots of choices again. Which one will I talk about? I don't even know yet. I'm kind of enjoying having some choices too. Until then, and as always, thank you so much for being a part of the Magical Movie Club. If you like this too and want to see more, please let me know by hitting the like button and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're interested, I have links to the preview video as well as the movie page for more details about 'Twas the Date Before Christmas in the description below. I'll be back next week to chat more about our favorite Hallmark Christmas movies.
Guess I did have one more snowball.
Dirty player.